Hey everyone, just about to kick off this live broadcast. I'm just going to give everyone a few minutes to join. I think there's always this awkward moment when I go live, me sitting here just talking to myself, but I want to make sure that we have enough people joining the live cast, so it makes sense to kick off. But I'll start by saying I hope you're all well wherever you are in the world. Again, lots of crazy things going out there. I do hope you and your family and friends and loved ones are keeping well. I'm really excited to talk about around a few things today. I'm slightly jet lagged. I went back to the UK for the first time in 7 years since moving to the US, and we had a 10.5 hour flight with my two kids and my partner yesterday, and we got back. I don't know what time it is. I don't think time makes sense anymore with the jet lag, but wanted to kick off and share a few updates and then share something super exciting, which is the printed version of our book that's coming out. So first of all, just do some kind of housekeeping of what we've updated recently, and then get into the main reason for this live stack. So we've updated our website, which is super exciting for us. Taken a long time thinking about what our website should be for people. One of the things that Ink and Ribbon stands for is community and craft. And so if you go to our website, I've now updated a huge section called the Learning Library, which is essentially a repository and a collection of information for emerging and established poets, both from the beginners to the people who are masters at their craft, to help people understand how to submit poems to a press or build a manuscript, reviews of books, and other goodies there. So if you want to go to inkandribbon.org and then go to the Learn section, there's about 30 articles there of a variety of different things for you to peruse at your own leisure. I'll be updating those articles every week, and hopefully that'll be of use to you. But one of the missions, the vision statements of Ink and Ribbon was to give back rather than just to receive. So hopefully that's going to be useful for you guys. I'll share links over my Substack on the notes function if you're interested in finding out more. The other thing that's super exciting and I announced a couple of weeks ago, before I get into Rain Chant and all that's going on there, is we announced our second poet that we've signed up, a UK poet called Jan Noble, who I believe has just joined as well. So, hey, lovely to have you on this live cast. Super excited about bringing his manuscript to life, which is called My Name is Swan. That is looking to be published around mid-October this year. My Name is Swan is hey, yeah, good to see you. And I met Jan up in down in Brighton over the when I was in the UK, which was a joy to actually meet face to face in this world of digital media. It was nice to sit and have a pint of Guinness or some soda water in his case, and see the joy on his face that we're publishing and getting his beautiful words out into the world. So My Name is Swan is coming soon. It'll be around mid-October when we go live, but we'll be doing pre-orders and more announcements on that. It's an amazing book, and I'm sure will be embarrassed for me to say that it's like a T.S. Eliot type wasteland epic, something different from what we're seeing in other poetry collections at the moment. And what I love about being able to publish this type of work is it allows us to do something that maybe all the contemporary presses aren't doing. It requires attention. It's a long piece. It's 3 poems, and it has a strong narrative arc through it. And those poems are stitched together in a way that I think is very compelling, and you guys are going to enjoy. But it's not like a collection of single poems. It's a long performative piece. And Jan has been performing that in London and in LA and other places for a while. So this will be bringing to life that work in the written form in a limited edition version, as always, and a hardbound version. Um, what I discovered, I think, when speaking to Jan and going through this process of forming this non-profit press, and we've only been really in formation for 4 months, is an evolution of thinking of like, what kind of press do we want to be? What kind of work do we want to publish? And what does that mean to us? And what does that mean to the poets we work with? And I think there's a lot when you're writing poetry where you think about your own voice. Like, what is my voice? What does that even mean? He hasn't found his voice yet, or she hasn't found her voice yet. And I think a press is very similar to that. When we had our open readings, we had 150 submissions. And I didn't realize at the time I'd have to make editorial decisions. Seems obvious, but of the debut book, what would that look like? What would that feel like? What was the emotion that we want to push out into the world? And that's been in my mind for a long time, until I had that realization recently of the kind of press that we want to be, not just in the craft of poetry or the craft of the book itself, but more the philosophy. And what I've learned as we've agreed to publish a few books this year, we have Rain Chant, we have My Name is Swan, and I'll announce another one soon that's coming out by the end of the year. We've just signed 2 more poets to our press, which is super exciting. The thing that stands out is there's two things that really mean something to us, and whether we're going to work with that poet or not. One is, can we see the book in the hardbound version, right? So this prototype that we produce, is very, has a long lifespan. It's beautifully crafted by Nate McCall at McCall Bindery in the Pacific Northwest. And these books are meant to be treasured and hold the beautiful words of the poems in the book itself. And so when I think about looking at the open reading submissions, a good rubric for me is like, can I see it in this version? That's number one. We had some amazing submissions in our open reading that I just couldn't see in this edition for whatever reason, not because they were bad works. It's just they were either too contemporary or they didn't feel that they would live into that vision. So we didn't move forward with them, irrespective of the quality of the work. The second one that was really interesting as we got on this journey is there are a lot of poets, some established poets, who wanted to work with us, and I could have sold all of the 250 copies immediately, right? We would have sold out, and that would be very attractive because as a non-profit, de-risking our production costs is something that is really attractive. But it posed a dilemma. Is like, was I signing poets because they would sell at the cost of where the heart of the work was? And that's not to say there isn't heart in that work or isn't great poetry. But I've learned over the last kind of couple of weeks, and I'm refining our vision and what we are. The one thing that matters more for me is, does this book we publish mean something to the poet beyond it being a collection of poetry or an MFA thesis or whatever? Is it something that's so meaningful and so deep to them that it's a necessity to publish this for whatever reason that may be? And for me, that is the driving force, and maybe a refinement of our vision that I will articulate on our website and in our material. It's not about just a collection of poems that are well crafted. I've seen many submissions that have been accepted to some very established presses and reviews. For me, it's about, this is a necessary story that they have to tell, the poet, and that it means something so much to them that irrespective if they sell 10 copies or 250 copies, the joy of being able to get that work out there is what we're here for. And I think that, for me, is where the heart of the press is. And so I'm super excited about refining that vision and thinking about how we articulate that. And it's great to kind of get that realization after only like 4 months as we get our books published out there, because it's going to allow us to really articulate who we are and identify poets that want to be part of that journey because of that vision versus just anyone coming in. So yeah, that's something that's super exciting. So the main reason I wanted to jump on today was over the last 2 months, we've been working on Sesquipedalian rain chant. Sorry, my screen just went off. And bringing that into life. And a couple of months ago, we didn't even know how to produce a book. This is the first time we had a manuscript. We had to take it from the Word document to print, and that's been a roller coaster of a ride. We've been very blessed to be working with Pioneer Square Press, Phil Bevis in Seattle, who also runs Chatwin Books and Asterism distribution for small poetry presses, and Arundel Bookstore, a legend, has been advising us and helping us bring this to life. And we've had lots of backs and forths about the quality of the paper, the quality of the materials, because there's a dissonance, right? There's a potential dissonance if you have, or a delta, that if you have this fine art book, and then you get your printed copy and it doesn't meet that craft, it's not as beautifully framed, or doesn't feel as good, then you don't live into the vision that we have as a non-profit press around bookbinding. And so we've been trying to figure out, how do we get the quality of the printed material as close to the hardbound version, but also elevated against our peers. There's some great work out there from wonderful presses like Wave Books, Fitzcarraldo, Black Ocean, all of these presses. And because our vision is to live into the craft of the book, we needed to elevate that. And so I've probably been annoying the hell out of our printers by constantly changing the specs, upping the paper quality to get it to where we need it to be. The first version that came back was so far off where we need to be, it felt like a pamphlet, that I kind of had a bit of trauma. I was like, okay, how do I square the circle on what we're doing here? Have I built something that we can't live into? And then the way that we moved forward was looking at different paper stocks, working very hard and kind of diligent on like thinking about our house brand, our house style. And so, Michelle, I see your note on fine Italian paper. We've opted for some really interesting paper types. The book cover that we're using, if anyone's geeking out about paper, then I mean, it's been my life for the last couple of months, so I'm used to that. But we're looking at a Nina paper stock, Oxford textured paper, and it's been a joy to go through like all of these choices that you get when you try and produce a book of like, how do I pick the right paper to go for that's going to look good, that's going to print well, and then be elevated, and then also send your manuscript off to print, not knowing what's really going to come back. And when the proof came back, not at the quality we wanted, it gave me a lot of sleepless nights. But I'm glad to say I picked up 150 of the copies yesterday, and I'm biased, of course. It is the most beautiful book that's been made ever. Full stop. That's it. I'm gonna say it. I just love it. It is so well produced, and I'm so thankful and grateful for the people who've helped fund this, who've supported the press. And so I'm going to show it to you. I don't know what it's going to look like. You won't be able to see it or smell it. I've been smelling my books. My kids have been. I've got 10-year-old and 12-year-old. They're like, why are you going around smelling that book? Like, because that's what you do. You smell the book, right? You feel the book. You smell the book. You love the book, and I love this book, and not just the design, but the words inside it, written by Brooks Lampe. The meaning of this is our debut book, the first book ever produced, and it's taken us a while to get there. So I'm going to share it with you on video, and hopefully that will work. So here is the book. It's on this very textured paper, which I don't know if you can see on the screen. And we decided to go for a gold foil and keep this as our house style, to make it very classic, very elegant, and for it to show up on people's bookshelves with a bit of mystery, but with elegance as well. And so the paper is really quite thick in terms of the cover. It feels textural in your hands, has a weight behind it. It has a, something you can grab hold of. And then the paper inside, which again, you can't probably see the texture, but it's a really high quality paper. And so this is our book. This is our debut book. It's one that I've had to proofread 100 times because Brooks decided to choose a word that is really difficult to proofread and easy to misspell. So Sesquipedalian, rain chant, the amount of times I've looked at that word thinking I've misspelt it during the making of this book has caused me significant anxiety. And what I love about Sesquipedalian, if you don't know that word, it means long-footed or many syllables in a word. So it's a kind of in-joke. It's a long word that means many syllables, or a long word that means long words. And so this is our book. It's available now for pre-order, as you've probably seen on my channels and my posts. We only produced 250 of these. It's available for pre-order at $18.95 if you go to Ink and Ribbon. All of them are numbered by myself, by hand. So on the front cover, you'll see, we haven't numbered these yet, I've got to do that, but you'll see all of these are numbered. So they're unique pieces, they're collectible for a couple of reasons. One, Brooks is an amazing poet, and I think he's going to be very successful in his career. Two, it's the first ever Ink and Ribbon book. So in my mind, when we scale and grow, this becomes a very collectible piece of archival memorabilia from our press. So if that's not incentive to buy this book, I don't know what is. So yeah, go to inkandribbon.org, go and pre-order. It's $18.95. The book costs about $18 to produce. So it's like, we're not making profit on this. It's really about helping Brooks get his work out there as a single poet with a single vision for his work. And that's what we're all about. So that's it. That's what I wanted to share with you. I'm glad that you've joined. I'm kind of going to end on a note that was amazing. I got an email. One of my board members knows Billy Collins, and I've been trying to coerce Billy to allow me to publish some of his work. He hasn't said yes yet, but I'm hopeful. And he sent me a note back a couple of weeks ago, just with the line saying, "You do nice books." And so that made my day, made my year. So I'm going to get that printed on a t-shirt saying Ink and Ribbon, "You do nice books, Billy Collins." And I think hopefully you'll agree with Billy. And hopefully when you get this in your hands, you'll come back and say, "We do nice books too." So I'm going to end there. Please go to our website. Please pre-order, share this post, support what we do. We're doing something very special in this place, in this space. I hope it's all about the poet and getting their vision into life and helping support other artists and other writers. That's what all we're about. It's been a joy to be part of this community. Thank you for your time today, and look after each other.